Welcome back to our channel where we share insight from the Bible. In the ancient land of Egypt, where the Nile flowed like a lifeline, secrets whispered through the corridors of power. Amidst political intrigue and divine intervention, a princess emerged, a woman whose compassion defied her royal lineage. This is the untold story of Pharaoh's daughter. The grand halls of the palace shimmered with gold and lapis lazuli. Pharaoh's daughter, adorned in silks and jewels, moved gracefully among courtiers and scribes. Her beauty was renowned. The Nile River flowed lazily, its waters shimmering under the relentless Egyptian sun. Princess Bithiah, daughter of Pharaoh, wandered along the serene banks, her footsteps muffled by the soft sand. Her golden robes billowed around her, a stark contrast to the humble surroundings. But it was her heart that set her apart, as the sunlight danced on the water. One day, as she strolled along the banks of the Nile, she heard a cry. Bithiah's gaze fell upon an odd sight, a small basket bobbing near the reeds. Curiosity piqued, she waded into the shallows. The basket, woven from papyrus, held an infant, a Hebrew child. His eyes, wide with fear, locked onto hers. She reached out, cradling him in her arms. His name was Moses. Pharaoh's daughter knew the truth: the child was Hebrew, an enemy of Egypt. The baby's cries tugged at Bithiah's heart. She knew the decree: all Hebrew male infants were to be drowned in the Nile. But compassion surged within her, a force stronger than royal edicts. She cradled the child, feeling his fragile warmth against her chest. Desperation etched in her features. Bithiah glanced around. The palace guards were nowhere in sight. She had a choice: obey her father's command or defy it. The baby's cries echoed in her ears, drowning out reason. With trembling hands, Bithiah made her decision. She would save this child. She whispered a promise to the heavens: the gods be damned. She would raise him as her own, shield him from harm, and defy the cruel fate that awaited him. In the opulent halls of the Egyptian palace, where gold and marble whispered of power, Princess Bithiah watched as Moses grew. He was no longer the abandoned Hebrew child she had rescued from the Nile. He was her son, the Prince of Egypt. In the palace nursery, Bithiah named him Moses, a name that meant drawn from the waters. She watched him grow, his laughter filling the opulent chambers. She taught him compassion, kindness. In the royal court as Moses matured, Bithiah shielded his true identity. She wove a delicate web of secrets, ensuring that the courtiers saw only the heir to the throne. But behind closed doors, she whispered stories of his birth, of the basket on the river, and the compassion that defied Pharaoh's decree. In addition to the stories of his people, Pharaoh's daughter cradled Moses, her heart a mosaic of compassion and secrecy. Like, share and subscribe for more video like this. She whispered lullabies, unaware that her nurturing touch would shape destiny. Moses, oblivious to his true lineage, thrived under her care. As Moses grew, Pharaoh's daughter wove threads of wisdom. She taught him the hieroglyphs, the language of power, and the constellations, the language of the divine. Unknowingly, she prepared him for a greater purpose. Years passed. Moses discovered his true heritage: the blood of Hebrew slaves flowed in his veins. At the burning bush, he encountered God. Bithiah's compassion had unwittingly set the stage for a divine mission. Bithiah's heart wrestled with conflicting loyalties. She loved Moses, the boy who laughed in the gardens, who studied scrolls with furrowed brows. Yet, she knew his destiny was entwined with the Hebrews, the very people her father enslaved. Late at night, when the palace slept, Bithiah stole into Moses' chamber. By candlelight, she told him tales of his heritage, the stories of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. She traced the lines of his face, wondering if he in the courtyard, Moses sparred with Egyptian soldiers, his strength unmatched. Bithiah watched, torn. Was he the bridge between two worlds, the embodiment of compassion and power? Could he change Egypt's course? Carried their resilience. One day, Moses confronted her. "Why did you save me?" he asked. "Why defy your father?" Bithiah hesitated, torn between truth: why do we enslave our own kind? Pharaoh's daughter hesitated, torn between loyalty and truth. She spoke of duty, but her eyes betrayed compassion. As the Israelites left Egypt, Bithiah stood on the palace balcony. Tears blurred her vision: the son she had raised, the people she had come to love. She whispered a prayer for their safety. History would remember her as Pharaoh's daughter, but her heart held a different truth. She was the woman who defied royalty, who bridged the gap between oppressor and oppressed. So, In the hidden bond between mother and son, amidst political intrigue and divine intervention, Princess Bithia's legacy echoed, an unexpected hero, a bridge between worlds. Because compassion knows no boundaries, Pharaoh's daughter, veiled in the mists of antiquity, steps beyond the biblical pages. Her name, lost to time, echoes through the corridors of history. She saved Moses, the child drawn from the Nile, but her impact transcends that singular act. Hidden away, Moses devoured scrolls, the tales of Egypt's glory and its enslaved Hebrews. Pharaoh's daughter, unaware of the fire she kindled, encouraged his hunger for knowledge. Years later, Moses fled to the wilderness. At the burning bush, God revealed his purpose, to liberate the Hebrews. Pharaoh's daughter's lessons echoed, power tempered by empathy. When Moses returned, a prophet with a staff, Pharaoh's daughter stood by him. She urged her father to free the Israelites. Her compassion became a beacon, guiding them toward freedom. Pharaoh's daughter watched as plagues ravaged Egypt. She wrestled with guilt, her role in Moses' upbringing, her father's wrath. Yet, she remained steadfast. As the Israelites left, Moses embraced her. "You saved me," he whispered. She nodded, tears unshed. Her legacy, a bridge between oppressor and oppressed. Across cultures and eras, poets and playwrights reimagined her. Some painted her as a loving adoptive mother, others as a tragic figure ensnared in power's web. Yet, her essence remained, an enigma. Pharaoh's daughter, veiled in mystery, fades back into silence. But her unseen threads, compassion, sacrifice, and unknowing preparation, bind Moses to destiny.